Hey guys. So, let's talk about something that's a little more fun with sports, right? So, who's a sports fan here, by the way? All right. And who's played fantasy sports or knows what fantasy sports are? Okay, so half of the sports fans. So, just a little bit about me to start with. Obviously, I'm a big sports fan. I did my engineering from UPenn and MBA from Columbia, and left the family business to pursue my passions, which was sports, gaming, and tech. And that led me to start fantasy sports in India, which were not present when I moved back from the US. I was an ardent fantasy soccer fan. And so when IPL started in 2008, I went looking for fantasy cricket, and there was none. And so I said, this is a big problem that needs solving personally, and maybe for a billion other people in India. So a little bit about fantasy sports for those who said they don't know what it is. It's a strategy game. It's not a simulation game. So you pick your team based on a real life match that's coming up from real life players that are going to play. You pick 11 people. For example, India and Australia are going to be playing soon. You're going to be picking your Dream11, and that's where the name comes from, a dream team of 11 players, who will give you points based on those players' real-world performance in the upcoming match. And so it's more of a prediction and strategy game where you showcase that all that talk that you have about this player is going to play well, and I knew that, right? I knew Kohli is going to play well, or I knew Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is going to get those wickets. Put your money where your mouth is. You get to create your team and show the world that you actually knew what you're talking about in sports, not just talk shop after it's all happened. And so you compete with other people, millions of other people who have their similar teams, to see who scored the most points. Sounds pretty simple, right? But so is the business model. As a house, what we do is that we allow people legally to put money on sports. And please don't confuse this with sports betting or gambling. This has been cleared as a game of skill by the Supreme Court of India. And as the Indian laws, just like in the US, once you're more skilled than chance, that game is treated as a regular business activity. No longer complies or falls under gambling laws or laws of that nature. And so the business model is pretty simple. In this example, you can see on the right side, once you made a team, you can put 30 rupees. That's it, just 30 rupees on that match, and say that I'm going to compete against what you see below that, 1 million other people. And so Dream11 collects 3 million or 3 crore rupees and pays out 2.5 crore rupees to half of those people as winnings. So it's not like a lottery where one person is going to win everything. 50% of people at least get their money back. And so as you can see, we've kept the price point really low, and that's been really helpful to get masses of people playing. And so it's a very transparent business model. We keep between 15 to 25% of the amount we collect as our revenue and pay out the rest as winnings. That's been pretty effective. We've been able to grow from when Vani invested in us when we had 0.3 million users back in 2015. Kalaari's helped us quite a bit to get us to 50 million users today. We actually just crossed 50 million users yesterday. And, well, thank you. But in India, we like to call that product market fit, right? So there's a long way to go. And we're going to be a little bit ambitious. The 100 million users that I've put up here, we're going to try to crack that in the next 5 months. Because the next 5 months has the IPL and the World Cup. And so we're looking to get to a point where we add 1 million users a day during the IPL and World Cup. Last IPL, it's not audacious because last IPL we added 400,000 users a day. So let's see if we can meet those targets. Excuse me. More important than the user growth, which you can get, right, is that our revenue has actually grown the same way. And so our revenue has grown. This is our top line, our gross transaction value. And so our revenue is 15% to 18% of this number. That revenue, thank you. That revenue has grown from, that top line has grown by 100x as well. Well, it's actually, if you account from last year to this year, from the time Kalaari is invested, it's about 300x. So it's grown from $2.5 million to about $750 million ending March 2019. And we're still targeting to hit $1.7 billion next financial year. So, in fantasy sports, it's always been difficult to grow a market where when we started, people used to say fantasy means a very different thing in India, right? And crazy as it be, one of our competitors is brand ambassador is also Sunny Leone. So they've literally taken the fantasy term into that. But yeah, growing the market also gives you that advantage of owning the category. And so in India, the number of searches on Google for Dream11 is 30 times the number of searches for the entire industry. The keyword for the industry is fantasy sports or fantasy cricket. And this was really important, right? Because when you get in early and you stay there and you persevere through, now it's been about 11 years, we've been fortunate to own the category just like Google or Xerox or Jacuzzi. How many people here knew that Jacuzzi is actually a brand name, not the category? Hot tub is the category. Jacuzzi is actually a company name. So, which is what we've been able to achieve now. In fact, funny part was that last IPL, there were a couple of commentators on air talking about their fantasy teams for the IPL fantasy game. And they asked each other, who's in your Dream11? Which was great for us. So, it's also helped a lot that we've been able to get in early, and because one of the advantages is that the capital we've raised has helped us to forge partnerships and grow some of the world's largest partnerships. In cricket, we are partners of the ICC. In Kabaddi, the PKL, the Pro Kabaddi League. In football, the Indian Super League. In hockey, the Federation of International Hockey. And a bunch of others that you can see below. We've been able to get exclusive tie-ups with these partnerships and get access to the entire user base of fantasy users. But, Vani asked me today to talk about our secret sauce and the vision for the company going forward. Honestly, that's our secret sauce. That's it, right? Once we hit product market fit, the only thing that's been important for us is culture. And let me take a couple of minutes to talk to you about our culture. We have 5 simple tenets, right? And we make a cool acronym. Do put our culture first. So data, ownership, performance, users, transparency. When we talk about data, the idea is that if you have user data that says something, it doesn't matter what anyone says. From a fresher to me, all that matters is the user data. And so we've created a framework ourselves, which I said was HEAL. Hypothesis, experimentation, analysis, and learning. And a framework to design which ideas go out first, which is taken from growth frameworks that are used in Silicon Valley. Impact, confidence, and ease. And we tell our people to use these frameworks, and whatever comes out of there, you're allowed to do. If you have the data, go do it. Fail, but get the data, try it out, succeed, great, double down, triple down. Fail fast, and move on. Ownership comes from that, right? We break down our entire company is not broken down as functions, like product, marketing, tech, but rather as cross-functional pods. So there's teams of up to 11 people that work in pods, where they come up with their ideas. And every quarter, they tell us what they want to work on. We don't tell them what to work on. So they vote, and they let us know what they want to work on, but it's all based on ICE and HEAL and user data. And that's been working really well for us. Of course, I already mentioned users, but the simplest way to say it is that what's a sports team without its fans, right? And that's exactly what we are. We're a sports company that means nothing without our sports users. Couple of things is about performance. Obviously, we keep focusing on our people's performance to the point where we do 360-degree surveys only based on your culture. And so every quarter, your peers and your managers, who we call captains, of course it's sports, rate you on your culture, these 5 tenets. That's it. come appraisal time, we don't rate performance. We just pay top of market. That's it, right? We don't negotiate. We don't talk about anything. We look at the 99th percentile that is paid across companies in India, and we just pay top of market. Because every quarter you're being judged by your peers and by your captain on whether you're a culture fit. If you're a culture fit, everything will work out from there. We truly believe in hiring the best people and getting out of the way. And culture is the only thing that scales. And finally, transparency. Obviously, all the data is available to all our people, and they can take decisions only when they have access to that. So, the last thing I want to say on culture is that we've also been able to build this because Dream11 has the fortune of being a true product tech play. We don't have logistics, delivery, warehousing, sales, B2B, nothing. There's 200 people under one roof in Bombay, and that's it. Driving almost $1 billion of top line and $150 million of net revenue. Our goal next year is to get to $250 million of net revenue with 250 people in the company. And that's something we really want to do, which is very unusual for the Indian ecosystem. A lot of people ask us, they judge our success by saying, how many people do you have in your company? And if you say 200, they're like, oh, you're a small company. 10,000, oh, you're a great company, right? But we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we hire great people, pay them top of market, and actually make sure that we can hit $1 million of revenue, net revenue, per employee. Moving on, like I said, 50 million is just product market fit. There's 400 million people that are actively consuming cricket online in India. There's 850 million people that consume sports in India on TV. And so we're just getting started here. And the opportunity going forward, we're not actually a fantasy sports company. A lot of people think we are. We're a sports data company. Fantasy sports is just the beginning. Someone mentioned Reliance here. For us, fantasy sports is like oil for Reliance. It's the refinery. That's the cash cow that'll get us going. But really what we're going to be building is a much, much larger sports company. If you look at every single large market in the world where sports is popular, they have multiple billion-dollar companies that do content, commerce, engagement, ticketing, merchandising, memorabilia. I had a lot of people that put up their hand here that said they were, let's ask, how many people are Indian team fans? Okay. How many people can tell me right now where to buy an Indian sports jersey, the Indian cricket team jersey? About 5% of the people that put up the hand. Isn't that crazy? We don't know where to buy the official Indian team jersey? That's exactly what we're going to solve. Using fantasy sports and 50 million users as data going to 100 million people, when you play fantasy sports on Dream11, I know which sports you like. I know which teams you like. I know which players you like. I know which matches you put money on, how much money you put, when you win money, when you lose money. And I'm going to use all that information to personalize sports the way it should be. To give you that content, commerce, and community in a completely personal way, and to tell you exactly, because I know that when you chose Vijay Shankar in your team and made him captain and won, and your 50 rupees became 50,000, that's when I'm going to ask you if you want to buy a 5,000 rupee signed jersey of Vijay Shankar. So anyway, that's about it, but we're here to build India's largest sports platform, not just fantasy sports, and give sports users the platform they deserve and the one they've been waiting for. Thank you.